Good morning, Chair Vollendroff, members Garrett and Holmes, staff and guests. The lobbies are open and the recording has begun.
Thank you, Gretchen. Good morning, everyone. I'll now convene the board caucus meeting for Tuesday, March 4th. We will start with a legislative update from Mark Webster. So, Mark, I'll turn it over to you.
Good morning, Chair Vollendroff and members Garrett and Holmes. It's week 8, which is noteworthy because we will hit the halfway point of session this week. This is going to be an abbreviated update as it's largely week made up of floor action. The chambers aren't really doing a lot of committee hearings, and instead they're just trying to pass bills off the floor, get them over to the opposite house ahead of the next cutoff, the House of Origin cutoff, which is on the 12th. So at this point, I think we are starting to get a little bit of clarity on what is likely coming our way. I think the continued tweaking of House Bill 1515, again, that's the outdoor alcohol sales or the World Cup Fan Fest bill, shows that there's enough interest that I think it might make it, but that there could still be some concerns over costs. So we could see it get amended again on the floor. And then there are a number of bills currently in rules that will probably come out as well. This includes our bill on medical cannabis tax, the exemption data sharing with the Department of Health. Also the Contracts Kitchen bill that was put forward by the Brewers Guild, the study on alcohol tax rates, and then there's a bill to remove a 24-liter transaction limit when retailers sell to restaurants. Another minor one, the snack bar bill that would allow snack bars to sell wine by the glass in addition to beer. And then I think the Cannabis Lab Bill 1347 has gotten a lot of support as well. So we're just going to do a last look through there to see if we might need any mandatory language to kind of protect our ability to pull certification when a cannabis testing lab is doing something untoward. Our MAST bill got pulled to the floor, so that's good to see. That's House Bill 1698. Also on the floor calendar, and we'll see when they go, is House Bill 1551 on social equity and cannabis. That too was probably going to get amended, and I'm really just not sure what the Senate's going to do. I think that's been something of a House priority. I don't know that it's a priority for the Senate. That's a bill that would pause the issuance of opening the second window in social equity and cannabis program, and really kind of try to do a deep dive on what the barriers the first round folks faced in trying to open up. So one more to mention in that category is Senate Bill 5330, which is about requiring certain license types to have spiked drink test kits available for people who can to purchase them if their drink has been tampered with or like roofies or something like that put into them. Has nothing to do with us, but I do want to mention a bill naming a state cactus passed off the floor yesterday. So so many different things that members have to dive in on. So what's left? One of the ones that we should talk about is Senate Bill 5403, which is now about cannabis management agreements, control over retail licenses, and the like, trying to put some guardrails around ownership or what can be left to a management agreement. Chair Vollendroff and I just had a very good conversation with Senator Saldana on that and other things. But and then the House just did a work session on ESOPs and their applicability to the cannabis industry. So that just ended here a little while ago. And so when you think about those two things and couple that with the work session that Nicolette and Licensing did earlier in Senator Saldana's Labor and Commerce Committee earlier this session, I think you really see the legislature grappling with if and how to change business structures or arrangements for cannabis businesses. Again, out-of-state ownership is kind of looming over all of this as well. This is going to be a theme during the interim, as we just heard about from Senator Saldana, and going forward. This is not going away, but as we've seen, it's something that really divides the industry itself. I don't think there is a shared goal or a common vision that they're all kind of working towards. It's very divided. And then the last thing, Chair Vollendroff's confirmation process moves on, and we've had meetings with a number of members of that Labor and Commerce Committee who can take up that appointment when they return from floor action. So hopefully next week or the week after. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Mark. I have one quick question about the alcohol tax bill. Has that changed substantially since it was introduced, or is there any updates specifically about it that we should be aware of?
No, it hasn't. I think there's been one change on who's going to conduct the study, but the scope of the study remains the same. And I think it's kind of coming from folks, I think certainly on the spirit side, who feel that the taxes are kind of all over the map and maybe unfair or not reflecting current market trends as you get the ready to drink cans of spirit-based things and the like, and just wanting to look at taxation again, like if we were going to start from scratch, with our current system be the one that you look at, and so it directs them to look at other states, other models, and come back and present that to the legislature.
Does it have a date for submitting that at this point?
I'm sure it does. I don't have it right in front of me, so
Okay.
I can get that for you.
Okay, thank you. Other
Mark,
questions?
what is the contract kitchen?
Yeah, so this is an issue where breweries and wineries in particular, they can have tasting rooms. They don't need to have food, but one of the business models that they've kind of worked out is we don't know the restaurant business. We're just going to keep doing our brewery, and then they will contract for somebody to come in and operate like the restaurant side of the business. So right now, that's not technically allowed. I think the requirement is that the brewery in this case would need to physically control 100% of the space that is licensed. So this bill would allow them to carve out some space and just contract with somebody else to do the food service.
So like having a caterer come in.
A caterer, or it could be like basically
Food
somebody
truck.
operating the kitchen inside the physical brewery, but a caterer could do it too. And they think it might be a way for like food truck folks to kind of make the jump to working in a permanent space. There's actually a couple of bills on this topic. This is 1602, and then there's also 1701 from Representative Steele that are kind of trying to get at those regulations that prevent multiple businesses from kind of sharing a space.
Thank you, Mark. Any other questions for Mark from the board?
None for me.
Okay, seeing none, Mark, I do have one final question, and that is, in my spare time, I'm a master gardener, so I have to know what the state cactus is.
It's the basalt cactus.
Oh, the basalt.
Pedicactus nigrispinus.
All right, well, thank you.
I didn't know that, so yeah, I'm going to look for that next time I'm in Eastern Washington.
There you go. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it, and appreciate all your work. All right, moving on to the next board agenda, our caucus meeting agenda item. I have board efficiencies, and I asked that be put on the agenda. And this is really a placeholder for a larger discussion that I hope to have on the board caucus meeting next week. And so I just wanted to bring it to my fellow board members' attention so you too can be thinking about this between now and next week. I'm interested. I've been in this interim position, or this position as the board chair, for 2 months, and we have a new governor, and he's got directives, and I'm really interested in having a conversation about opportunities for efficiencies within the work that we do as a board. And so I'm interested in, meeting frequency, meeting structure, etc. And so I don't really have a full baked out discussion to have today, but I wanted to give you advance notice so that you can be thinking about it as board members, so that next week we could have a more robust discussion about board efficiencies and ideas that you may have based on your work on the board. So that's it. And I just wanted to give you a heads up on what that was about so that next week we can have a fuller discussion about that. Any questions? All right. Seeing none, we will transition to our last item, which is board member and executive assistant reports. So Gretchen, do you have anything today, you or Deb?
Nothing today, Chair Volendroff.
All right. Board members, anything to add? All right. I think that concludes our meeting then. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Goodbye.